All right, what's up there? So this is Trent Houck at Faith Community Bible Church, and we're coming to you this morning with a very special guest, Wyatt K. Barber. I'm excited that you're here, man. You guys, these videos are just for the purpose of encouraging you, and I thought it'd be helpful for us to think through maybe just one person in our youth group. How is he doing in the midst of this stay-at-home order? And I thought it'd be fun for you guys just to see another student's face. So, dude, Wyatt, what's up, man?
Nothing much. How about you?
Not much, bro. It's amazing. Hey, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Dude, what have you missed the most about your normal life?
I think three things. People. That would probably be, yeah.
Dude, what's the funniest thing that you have done in the midst of the stay-at-home order that you wouldn't normally do in your normal life?
I'm not sure. I feel like there's some funny things I've thought of doing. Like, I definitely have never snuck out of the house at night, and I feel like if I'm going to do it at any point, like it's now, because I don't have school, and it'd be really easy because my window is not that high off the ground and I could just open it up. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure how to get back in because it's kind of high and I have to like rappel up. I'm not sure I can do that. But I don't know what the funniest thing I've done is. Do homework in my pajamas.
Boom. Yeah. That is amazing. Well, one of the things we've been doing as we've been going through the book of Acts is like hearing testimonies from people and just the ways that God has specifically been working in their lives during this season. And sometimes when we think about testimony, we think about like, how has God worked in your life in the unique way of changing you from being out of Christ, under the wrath of God, turning to Christ and being in Christ, and now in the midst of God's grace and living in that. That's oftentimes what we think about when we think about testimony, is that conversion story, that testimony. But just in the last couple of months, man, how has God sort of been at work in your life, changing your identity, maybe stripping down some of your ideology or the ways that you thought about yourself? What does that look like for you?
I think thinking about the idea that what we have our identity in, right? Like what we put our identity in defines us. What we let define us is the way we see the world, and the way we see the world is that's what defines us. And when we put our identity in something that our identity isn't meant to be in, so our own behavior, what X person thinks of me, how good I am at basketball or football or baseball, when we put our identity in that and then we fail to be what we say I say, oh, I'm a good basketball player, or I say this person thinks this way about me, or I'm a good person, I don't make mistakes. What happens then when you do make the mistake, or when that person doesn't care about you, or when you don't end up being as good at something that you thought you were good at? I think personally, just thinking about that, like, that's when we have an identity crisis. We think I'm this, and then I tell people I'm this, and then I'm this. Well, then who are we anymore? There's a crack. That's the issue with lying, flat out, is there's a crack between reality and your perception of reality. And I think that personally for me, I've struggled not as much specifically with one thing, but just with a lot of things. And the fact that we can't do it on like that. That's the gospel, right? That's why we need Jesus.
Yeah.
Is because it's predicated on the fact that we can't do that. We can't be what we think we are. And so that's the freedom of the gospel, which says, no, you're right, you can't do it. But I love you and I forgive you.